Hello, welcome. We're talking about surface area, and I've got a couple things here. I've got a cylinder and I have a sphere. First off, with the cylinder, it basically has three surfaces. It's got the top, it has the bottom, and then it has the sides. So if you were to make what's called a net, kind of a pattern, like if you were to make this out of paper, let's say, then you have a rectangle that represents how the sides, so this part right here, and then you have a circle that represents the top, but also the bottom. And so we're gonna have, let's say, a circle, and then we have another circle, and then you have this that's the side. And so the circle, in this case, has a radius of 2 feet, and that's true both up and down. The radius would be the same. The height of this is 6 feet. Because this is a rectangle, we need to know how long it is. And it needs to be long enough, this green part here, this lateral side, needs to be long enough that when you kind of wrap this around the top and the bottom, it'll go all the way around. And all the way around the circle is the circumference of the circle. And that's the circumference of the circle is 2 times pi times the radius. The radius is 2, and so that's 2 times pi times 2, or 4 pi. And so how long is this? It's 4 pi units long. In a general sense, it's the same as 2 pi r is how long it is, and the 6 is the h. That 2 is the radius, and it's true for both of those. So the area of the top, the blue part, is pi r squared. But since we have two of them, you have 2 pi r squared. The area of the lateral part, so these are the blue part. Oops. The blue parts here. And then the area of the green here, the lateral side, that would be the base times the height. And the base then is 2 pi r times the height, which is, in this case, 6. So we can substitute these values in. 2 times pi times the radius, which is 2, but that's squared. 2 pi times, there's my pi r squared, but I've got 2 of them. And then 2 pi r, again, that's the same radius, so that's 2, but then the height, and the height is 6. And if I simplify this out here, this 2 squared, that's 4, times this 2 is 8. And so I've got 8 pi here, plus, and then this 2 times this 6 is 12. 12 times this 2 is 24. So I've got 24 pi here. And then if I have 8 pi and I have 24 pi, because they're both, like terms, I could say that's 32 pi, and that would be the exact surface area of this thing. But if I want the approximate, which is often more useful, I'd take 32 times pi. 32 times pi, and that gives us 100.53. So it's 100.53, and because the original was in feet, that's 100.53 feet squared. And that would be my final answer there. Okay, now the area of a sphere, it's just harder to visualize what that would look like if you were to try to flatten it out or any of that. So we just use the formula. It's 4 pi r squared. But what they've given us in this case is the diameter. Since the diameter is 14 feet, the radius is half that, so the radius would be 7 feet. And that's what we're going to use here. So we've got 4 times pi times the radius, which is 7 squared. And 7 squared is 49, so I've got 4 pi times 49. And then 4 times 49 would be 196. 196 times pi. And that's the exact answer. That's what we've got. But the approximate answer I would get by plugging that in to my calculator, 196 times pi, and that gives us 615.75. So 615.75 square feet. Remember that the areas is always in square feet. And so that is my answer. Ahora, en español. Ok, tenemos dos figuras. Una de esas figuras es un cilindro y nos ha pedido que encontremos el área de superficie de esta figura. Y tenemos tres. 1 acá arriba, 2 lo de abajo y 3 lo del costado que va alrededor. Y si haces lo que se llama un net, como un patrón, tenemos la parte de arriba, que es este. Tenemos la parte de abajo, que es este. Y tenemos la parte de costado, que es este en verde. Entonces, la longitud de este que está en verde, que es básicamente un rectángulo, es igual que la circunferencia del círculo. Entonces, 2pi por r. El área de cada círculo, lo de arriba y lo de abajo, es pi r cuadrado. Pero tenemos 2 de ellos. Y si multiplicas la base, 2pi r por su altura, h, 2pi r por h, eso nos da todo el área de superficie de un cilindro. Sustituyendo los valores que tenemos, 2 por el radio, h es 6. Entonces ponemos r igual a 2, r igual a 2 y h igual a 6. 2 por 2, tenemos 4 y 4 por 2, tenemos 8, ese es 8pi. Y 2 por 2 es 4 y 4 por 6 es 24, es decir, tenemos 24pi. Y si sumas 8pi por 24pi, tenemos 32pi. Y si lo pones en la calculadora, 32pi sale 100.53. 100.53 y es pies cuadrados, square feet. Ahora, para el área de superficie de una esfera, como un globo, es 4pi r cuadrado. Pero el hecho de que lo que nos han dado es el diámetro, es 14 pies. Entonces la mitad de 14 es el radio, que es 7, y eso es lo que vamos a usar. Lo ponemos 7 en donde está el r, y 7 por 7 es 49. Ahora 49 por 4 es 196. Tenemos 196 pi. Y esa es la respuesta exacta, pero no nos ayuda mucho. Por eso lo ponemos en la calculadora y nos da que el área de superficie de ese globo, de esa esfera, es 615.75. 615.75 y es otra vez pies cuadrados. Bueno, sigue.